And this time we've got Sinner on the right side over here hitting a really slow forehand. And over here he's hitting that low ball that he ends up cranking, kind of out of the park. So let's just take a look at these here real quick. And what we see, right, are, again, the similarities that we saw before. So the same type of preparation basically on the stroke, right? Everything basically looks the exact same here that it did before in his preparation position. We're going to notice a couple of different things here on the right versus the left. So on the left, he's hitting a much slower ball. Look at the racket face. It's not pointed to the back fence like it is on the right. So he hasn't turned his hand and cocked his hand as much as he does on the faster ball on the right. So that's one big thing that stands out to us right away. Another thing that we can see here is that on the left here, on the slower one, right, the one he's not going to hit as hard, he hasn't coiled his upper body as much as he has on the right either. He's also not bending as much. He's not loading as much. Remember, you're not arming these shots. You're using your entire body. Your arm is part of the sequence, but it's not the entire thing. So as we come forward from here, right, we see the difference in the racket face position. So even though he's got that semi-western grip, it's not pointed to the back fence on a slower ball. Let's see what happens here now. And this is really where we see the big difference. Again, we talked about this before. The tip of his racket head when he's hitting the rocket is going to be behind the hitting elbow at the end of this backswing sequence, and the butt cap's going to be pointed forward. The butt cap is pointed forward on this slower ball on the left, but the tip of his racket is not behind his hitting elbow. It hasn't moved nearly as much as it did on the other shot. Again, look at the difference in the position here. The racket face is more pointed towards the back wall when he's going to really let it rip compared to the one on the left. And then the other difference that we see is the tip of the racket head does not get behind the hitting elbow right here like it does over here on the right side when he's really trying to generate pace, okay? Now let's look at the actual stroke as it unfolds. You can see the contact here, right? He's rotated, but not as much as he has on the right side of the screen where he's really letting this one rip, and then he follows through in both strokes. Let's watch it in real time. And again, in real time, tell me if you can see the difference between the two strokes besides the speed. You can see on the right side, the one that he's ripping over here, it has already hit the back fence. And the one on the left that he's hit much slower, his opponent hasn't even struck the ball, and his opponent is just behind the baseline. So this ball arrived to the back fence before his opponent is even hitting the one on the left that's much slower. So watch it one more time. Ripping on the right, more casual and easy on the left. So again, the technical differences that are kind of taking place there that we can clearly see. He's not loading his body as much. He's not coiling as much. The racket face is not turned towards the back fence when he's hitting this softer, gentler ball. And the amount his racket flips from this position to this position is considerably less. And the tip of the racket head is not behind his hitting elbow.